Live from New York, you're watching News Always On. I'm Kessyl. Today, we'll be looking at two sexual assault stories that's been a headline in the media for the past few days. For more than 20 years, Leslie Moonves, better known as Les Moonves, has been one of the most powerful media executives in America. As the chairman and CEO of CBS Corporation, he oversees shows ranging from 60 Minutes to The Big Bang Theory. In recent months, he has become a prominent voice in Hollywood's Me Too movement. And in December, he helped found the Commission on Eliminating Sexual Harassment and Advancing Equality in the Workplace. At a conference in November, he said, quote, "It's a watershed moment. I think it's important that a company's culture will not allow for this. And that's the thing that's far-reaching. There's a lot we are learning and there's a lot we didn't know." But just last weekend, a report made headlines after Les became the subject of a New Yorker story detailing sexual misconduct allegations. Here is more. Released online on Friday, Moonves was the subject of a Ronan Farrow piece in The New Yorker, where 6 women accused Moonves of sexual harassment. According to the article, the women had professional dealings with Moonves between the 1980s and the late aughts. 4 described forcible touching or kissing during business meetings, in what they said appeared to be a practice routine. 2 women said that Moonves physically intimidated them or threatened to derail their careers. All said that he became cold or hostile after they rejected his advances and that they believed their careers suffered as a result. Julie Chen, Moonves' wife, wrote on Twitter saying, "I have known my husband Leslie Moonves since the late 90s, and I've been married to him for almost 14 years. Leslie is a good man and a loving father, devoted husband and inspiring corporate leader. He has always been a kind, decent, and moral human being. I fully support my husband and stand behind him and his statement." On Sunday night, the couple was spotted at Nobu, Malibu, and their group of friends. A Hollywood insider said, quote, "Les is out instead of hiding. He went to one of the biggest and most powerful places in Hollywood. This is a statement. If you want to see anyone or be seen, you're going to Nobu." In a segment on The Late Show Monday night, 3 days after he was accused of the sexual harassment, Stephen Colbert argued that if we aren't willing to demand that everyone answer for the terrible things they've done, even the people we like, then we aren't really aiming for justice. Colbert said, quote, "Make no mistake, Les Moonves is my guy. He hired me to sit in this chair. He stood behind the show when we were struggling to find our voice. He gave us the time and the resources to succeed, and he has stood by us when people were mad at me. I liked working for him, but accountability is meaningless unless it's for everybody." He added, "It's strange to have to say this. Powerful men taking advantage of relatively powerless employees is wrong. We know it's wrong now and we knew it was wrong then. And how do we know when we knew it was wrong then? Because we know these men tried to keep the stories from coming out back then." The media company said it takes all allegations of personal misconduct seriously. It said the independent directors are investigating claims that violate the company's clear policies in that regard. CBS stock fell 6%, its worst one-day loss in nearly 7 years, as the reports of the misconduct allegations began to circulate around noon Friday, triggering investor concerns Moonves might be forced to step down. The CBS chief has been a towering figure in television for decades, credited with turning around a network that had been marred for years at the bottom ratings. The company did not mention Moonves by name, but said it issued the statement in response to the upcoming New Yorker article. A CBS statement said, quote, "Upon the conclusion of the CBS board members' investigation, which involves recently reported allegations that go back several decades, the board will promptly review the findings and take appropriate action." Moonves is the latest media giant to become embroiled in sexual misconduct allegations since the downfall of Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein in October that triggered the Me Too social media movement. He is also one of the most powerful executives in media, having led CBS for 2 decades, including the 12 years since its split from Viacom. He revived the company which operates the CBS network, Showtime, and other entities, with hit shows like NCIS and The Big Bang Theory. He also introduced separate streaming CBS and Showtime services as more people could cut the cord and watch TV online. The network consistently tops in primetime ratings. According to an executive data firm, Moonves was the number 2 highest paid CEO of a major public company in 2017, making $68.4 million last year. Before joining CBS, he was president of Warner Brothers Television, where he oversaw the development of hit TV shows like Friends and ER. Moonves, who is married to TV personality and CBS producer Julie Chen, was inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame in 2013, where he also won the Milestone Award from the Producers Guild of America that year.
This is a story that I've been investigating for the last 8 months. It involves 6 women overcoming a lot of fear of retaliation to tell very serious stories of sexual misconduct about Les Moonves, one of the most powerful men in television. But it also involves dozens of sources talking about the corporate culture around Les Moonves and raising allegations that he promoted individuals who were the target of a lot of similar allegations. And, we talk to experts who say this is an opportunity to look at how our most important corporate institutions treat vulnerable people coming forward with these kinds of charges. Because this is a set of individuals and a company that has been followed by these allegations for a long time. Anytime you do a story about something this serious, these kinds of allegations, the commitment to fairness is absolute and really important for everyone involved. And CBS got a very long window in which to respond to every facet of this, and we made sure that every one of those responses was reflected in this story. This was not the first time this company was facing allegations of this type from the press. We talk about how a subset of these charges about the news division at CBS were raised by the Washington Post in recent months, and how the reporters at the Post received a lot of threats and a really robust campaign to shut down that story. In this case, I have to say, while we received some of that from some of the individuals involved in the story, Mr. Moonves and the CBS Corporation were responsive, and as you've seen in their responses we include in the story, there's a fair degree of contrition that's suggested in Mr. Moonves' statement.
And that was Ronan Farrow, the journalist who broke the story and also wrote a Pulitzer Prize-winning story for the same magazine, uncovering many of the allegations against Harvey Weinstein. Irish-American former auxiliary bishop of Washington, Cardinal Kevin Farrow, has denied any involvement in the scandal that brought Pope Francis to strip U.S. prelate Theodore McCarrick of his cardinal's title following sexual abuse allegations. Farrow, as the head of the Vatican's family, spoke out as the U.S. Catholic hierarchy has recently come under fire from ordinary American Catholics' outrage that McCarrick's misconduct was known in some U.S. church circles. On Tuesday, Farrow insisted that he never ever even suspected that his former boss allegedly sexually abused boys and adult seminarians. Here is his interview with the Associated Press.
Never once did anybody ever comment on it. Never once did I even suspect that. Now, people can say, well, you must be a right fool that you didn't notice. I must be a right fool, but I don't think I am. And that's why I feel angry. Never once did anybody ever comment on it. Never once did I even suspect that. Now, people can say, well, you must be a right fool that you didn't notice. I must be a right fool, but I don't think I am. And that's why I feel angry.
Message to bring to the
There is no record in the Archdiocese. And I was glad to see that this weekend, I believe Cardinal World said that when they analyzed the records, there is no record there, because I would know about it. Now, it's easy for everybody to say, well, I didn't even know there was a beach house. I found that out years later.
You didn't know about the beach house?
No.
You didn't know that he invited seminarians to the beach house?
No. And he didn't invite Washington seminarians there. That I would have known. I see the same thing. At no time did any person ever from New Jersey or from New York ever speak to me about it. And I, no. And a matter of fact, I didn't hear a word about any of this. And then, you know, that might be hard for somebody to believe, but if that's the only thing on your mind, well, then you'll focus on that. I was focused on running the Archdiocese, what Cardinal McCarrick was doing here, there, and everywhere, and all over the world. Didn't enter into my daily routine of running the Archdiocese of Washington.
We're for now. For News Always On, I'm Kessyl, and I will see you at 4 in the afternoon.